Okay, I'm going to show you how to paint a straight line. There's two methodologies that I'll show you. One, if you've got a square, you can simply tape off the edge with your artist tape and then paint onto the tape into the shape, being careful at the edges. I find it's easier and better to go this way rather than this way or this way because you'll squeeze paint under the tape that way if you don't have it down very clean. And you don't want to necessarily put your tape down too hard or too, like rub into it, because it can damage your paper then when you go to take it away. But anyhow, you can see that's one easy way to get a straight line on your square. In a second, when that dries, we'll take it up. I'm going to go ahead and flip this though, and I'm going to show you how I can get a straight line just using the pencil, or the paintbrush in my hand. So you'll notice I've loaded paint up on the brush. I'm going to anchor my hand. You see I'm firmly placing it on the page, not trying to hold it up and do it this way. So I'm anchored. I am out away from the line. I push up towards it, and then I slowly pull the brush towards me, allowing that paint to go right where I want it. Okay? Working in slow, controlled technique. I make it look easy, don't I? Not the first time I've done it, but you can do it. The key is, again, load enough paint on your brush, right, so you can see it. Plant your hand, that's the key. Away from the line, push up to it, and pull down. And also, don't try to do too much. If you notice right here, I'm still away from the line. I can rotate my brush because there's still plenty of paint on the other side. I can come up again and try to push, okay? I went a little far that time. That's okay. If I wanted it to be perfect, I'd do it on a computer. Okay, come up, push, and pull. Push and pull. There's no crime in rotating your page. That makes it easier for you. I'm going to rotate this, excuse me, a little bit. Push and pull. Push. Okay, so that is my square. A taped edge and a hand painted edge. Let's see, take the tape off. I got a little tiny bit of bleed. But you can also see it took a little bit of the surface of my paper off, so you want to be careful with that. Now, I could, if I wanted to, tape off the circle. I could take lots of little small pieces of tape and just keep aligning them until I got a rather smooth edge, but it wouldn't be 100%. So I'm going to show you again. Load my paintbrush, plant my hand, push up, and slowly pull towards. Now, I don't want to push my brush flat. It's hard to pull that way. So I still want to keep it kind of at an angle like that to the page. So come up and then pull. And when I feel like, like that, paint leaves my brush or something happens and I jerk up, or someone walks in and scares you, pick your brush up. Go forward, push to it, and then pull along. You can always go back in and carefully get any edge that you didn't quite get the first time. Push in, pull towards me. Push in, to the line, pull towards. When you get to where you feel confident in this, it can almost be somewhat therapeutic, because you have to focus so much on what you're doing that you're not worried about everything else that's going on around you. So that can be a blessing at this time in our lives. It's also a good way to de-stress. Okay, push forward, pull. Now I rotated that a little too far, and that's not comfortable for me, so I'm gonna just start over here. A little bit more paint. But the key to noticing on this is I'm anchoring my hand, I'm pushing up to the line, and then pulling along it, and I am not rushing. But I feel like that's a pretty tight circle right there. Okay, so this is just, I'll show you over here. I'll clean my brush off a little bit. My simple square-edged brush. Okay, I want to go through a few of the brushes. Some people like this brush, which you can see that angled edge rather than flat, to get a similar kind of look. So you can try that as well, like putting up and pushing. Some people like that, feel like that makes it easier. Either one, whichever you prefer. Then when you get into your, these are what we call the round brush. Okay. I find this is more difficult to control because it's not the same edge. And you see I'm getting a little unclear around there. So play with your brushes, but I would definitely, for line work, encourage you to use your chisel or your straight edge and play around with that and see how you can do. But again, go ahead and practice. Don't shy away from adding what you might consider difficult shapes. I can do the same process with that I use for this for amorphic or abstracted shape. It's just about setting your hand, getting yourself set, and moving that paintbrush up with the shape.